happening? Welcome to Mentality Monsters. Today's episode is sponsored by our King's Camps. We'll hear more about them. Today we are joined by Mr. Tiernan Loughran, the Stallion. We're in Ardoyne MMA as well. Big shout out to Ardoyne MMA for allowing us to use their facilities here today. Tiernan, what is happening, lad? How are you?
Oh, good lad. Just after a bit of a striking class there, and then straight up to here. First time in Ardoyne MMA. Great spot,
man. Great setup. Like it actually is. See, just for a community like Ardoyne, this place beats fucking bouncing. It is fucking class.
And lad, we're better for a podcast. Dead in the centre of the cage.
Dead in the centre of the cage.
Absolutely
in Ardoyne.
Lethal.
Ardoyne's a cage in itself, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, fucking right.
But striking class today, where was that there? In Fight Academy?
Up in Fight Academy, so it's the way we end the week. So 11:30, we have a striking class with Shando, and it's like, I think everyone knows our Thursday nights in Fight Academy are pretty mental. So it's a bit of an easier class, just more more technical, and it's more actually you feel better after it. And then I'm normally up to Donner McNally. I do a striking class with him at 3:30, but then I'm in for the podcast today. So
big shout out to Big Donner as well. Cheers,
last week. Big Donner's on last week.
Unbelievable. See the response we've had from Donner's one, unreal.
Aye.
We've had so many people have fucking shared their stories, like Garrett Smiley and stuff like that there as well. It's class to see. Big Paddy McCrory shared it, and it was classic.
Yeah, I was actually drilling with Paddy this morning. He's fucking world class.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what weight does he sit at now?
He's a big guy. We were actually doing cage rounds last night, and Paddy goes, "Me and you." And I goes, "What fucking weight are you?" Ended up going, but big guy.
So you fight at 65, is it? Or
60? If the championship it's 65.8 and then 66, just normal.
I'm 66. What do you know?
Jesus. Had I told you before this, I keep getting asked this question. I don't know what's going on. I must be looking big. I'm about 76, 77.
About 76, 77. How easy is it like for you to drop weight like that?
It's actually wild tough. So my last fight was actually the catch weight. It was 68.5 we met the boy at. And I remember getting it, me and Caine done the last bath, and I was saying, thank God that's it. Like fuck, if I had to have made 66, but I think it's just a mental thing. When you're when you know you're going to 66, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But no, it's good. No, the point lying, it's tougher every time.
But for a 66, as we said before, you're massive for your weight class. Like you look massive. You have a presence. It's ridiculous. Like
pretty big. The one I would have confidence like when it comes down to like not the physical strength matters, but when I get a hold of featherweights, I would be pretty confident. So
100%. Like,
but I suppose you don't want to be relying on that at the top level. It won't get you too far. Like,
see for you at the minute, what do you think is your greatest asset? Your technique or your physicality, your fucking athleticism?
That dog, lad.
That dog.
That Marab mentality.
Man,
did you hear that from the weekend?
Man, 100%.
Marab, this bastard.
You've got that dog.
I would say, lad, hey, you can't teach that. Like, you seen it with Caine at the weekend there, and then I would say that is my number one thing. I think it's MMA in general when it comes to like mix it up and game plan. Like if I know a style that I have to beat, like say I'm fighting a striker, I can mix in takedowns. If I'm fighting a pure wrestler, I can defend the takedowns, maybe move on the outside, do it that way. But all in all, when it comes down to who wants it more, I'll back myself in that fight.
You've got that dog.
I think I'd back myself in that fight 10 times out of 10. Yes,
see for yourself, we discussed it before, like there's a few things that we discussed before this year as well, which I'm going to bring up just during this year. Your last fight, you fought a good fighter, and he brought the game to you in the first round. Good, like he landed good strikes, and then you kind of brought him to the ground, and your striking game itself is really, really good. That would probably be like one of your strongest points.
Yeah.
How was it for you to adapt to that adapt and bring him down to the ground and grind him out?
Yeah. Well, I feel like my best thing in MMA, apart from being mentally tough, is like I like to watch my opponents. Like I like to get my opponent, and I will literally know everything about them. If they're a boxer, if they're a Thai fighter, if they're a grappler, I'll figure that out. I'll adapt that style. But in this last guy, we got him on 10 days notice. I think didn't know anything about him, couldn't find much, and I was going out there. I was like, right, I'm just gonna be me, just gonna do what I have to do. And I was doing a lot of striking at that time, so we went out and we were striking, and there's no point lying, I felt a bit flat. Like actually the story, I remember going to Fort, I remember going to Caine, we're sitting backstage, and Pat went to the toilet, or maybe went for a coffee or something, I can't really remember. But this was about 10 minutes before we're about to make the walk. And Keelan's talking away to me, and I sat and I goes to my, I rolled my, he was talking away gameplay, I rolled my eyes, and he goes, why? He goes, let's just see how this goes. And then Keelan was just like, all right, okay. He's feeling that. He's feeling that way. And I just came out and paid the price, lad. First 5 minutes, I just couldn't get going. But then I mixed it up and found a way.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, so
like you grinded it out.
Grinded
the dog,
it out.
You had that dog in him.
Marab. Marab.
Speaking of Caine being like in your corner, you were in his corner last week, UFC London. What was that like, the entire experience of it?
It's priceless, that day's experience. I can only, like, it sounds a bit cheesy, but you're nearly grateful to Caine for these things. Like, I've been to the PI now twice. I've cornered him. I've only cornered him once in the UFC, but I've been about the UFC now. Yeah. I think for 3 fights. There was one fight that I missed. I was still at it, but I just didn't get the backstage. Like, I'm getting to see all these things that a UFC fighter's doing, and realistically, I'm not that close to being there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get a lot more experience, and I feel like when I do get there, like, that'll all just be normally now.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get to the UFC. I'll get to the UFC PI and I'll be like, oh, well, I've been here before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll not be.
The Institute looks phenomenal. See, just the equipment, the recovery, everything just looks fucking quality. Like, it's like what's that like? Just actually being in the environment, being around these guys, training with them every single day.
It's unbelievable. Like, shout out to Pat, he's actually there at the minute, and he sent me a photo, and I was actually jealous. I was like, I love being home, love training, but like, just being in that PI, I was actually jealous, thinking I would love to be there right now.
Unreal.
Just for like, and you have everything. Like, you have your gym there, world-class facility gym, world-class trainers. Then you have your free, there's a kitchen, you have your free canteen, world-class food, everything. Then you have your free recovery. It is literally like a fighter's paradise. You have everything you need.
Is there a hotel there as well?
No, there's no hotel. Which is actually surprising. You think they would have dorms nearly in a way, but no.
So, see, when you drove over there, see, in terms of accommodation, do you pay that yourself?
We paid that ourselves. Thankfully, we, like, Bamber Construction lads out in San Francisco help us. They always help us out with that. So they covered our accommodation the whole time we were there.
Seeing you're out there, do you get any, because I saw like you wear your Celtic top out there, and so does Caine and stuff like that there, do you get any stupid Irish, like American things that, like, about Ireland or anything like that?
No, I can barely remember. They can't understand a word we're saying. I was asking the coaches questions, and I think they would nearly guess what I was saying. They couldn't understand. Like,
but trying to interpret.
But you know what I liked about that Extreme Couture is they were so welcoming. Even Big Strickland.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I never thought that we would get along in a way. But I went over there and I was sparring this guy. Remember, I think Caine told the story a few times. Sparring, but it was an absolute war, and Strickland watched it. And he was shouting the other boy on, but Caine was shouting me on.
Yeah.
I was like, this dickhead here.
But then, like, surreal moment.
Surreal. But then after, he took me into the cage and he started, like, showing me some stuff. Was like, he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, like, no, they're really, really good this over there.
See, when it comes to fighters of that like level, is there ego there, or are they more down the earth and humble?
I don't know. Like, I would say there is. Like, if I came into that gym and I put it on Strickland, which I would never do because the size of that man, he is massive. That's what surprised me when I seen him. I was like, I'm not saying a thing to him because he is fucking massive. But, like, if I came into that gym, say Strickland was my weight, and I tried to put it on him, I'd say then you'd find the ego. Yeah. Or if we sparred, he wouldn't lose. He would try not to lose anyway. 100%. That way. But, like, apart from that, if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. Anyway. I'd
say that's a good mentality as well, but, you know, like, always just being on your base, and like, you think of lads who are at that level, they got level for a reason, even like your brother in UFC, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like thousands of MMA fighters throughout Europe, and he's like, even throughout like Ireland and say novice, amateur and pro, thousands, and he's at the pinnacle. He's in around the pinnacle. Like, it's, see, for you, what's that like, seeing your brother do the things that he's doing now?
It's class, lad, but you know what it is? Like, I always find, like I think you'd always see, like, or you'd always think when you get there, it's like, oh my God, that's going to be massive. But then when Caine got signed to the UFC, it was like, oh, well, we were expecting that in a way. And then when he starts beating guys in the UFC, it's not like that much of a shock. It's like, well, I thought he would win that fight. Yeah. 100%. If you know what I mean. But as far as, like, seeing him there, it's absolutely class. Like it's unreal.
Before we actually get into the actual podcast, we've done a podcast before the podcast. For anybody that's listening on Spotify, we're not on like MMA obviously, but there's people on the bags and in the gym and stuff like that there, just in case you're hearing like anything in the background. Should have said that at the very start. But last week in London, with like briefly touched on it, but see, just in terms of the fight and stuff like that there as well, there's been a lot of talk about the fight, like after the fight. How do you think the fight went?
It was a close fight. They're very evenly matched. I think not that Caine was like fighting not to lose, but maybe the pressure of the moment maybe took a wee bit away from his opponents. Like he just fought. He kind of fought not to fight to win. I'm not the way I'm putting it, but like I feel like at the end of the day, his back was against the wall. Caine had to win this fight, and I think it was just like do what it takes. In a way, hit the takedowns, control position, and maybe didn't get fully like loose or relaxed in there.
Yeah.
Whereas I think he'll get that next time.
100%.
Like he's got that win now, should get that new contract, and it'll take that wee bit of pressure off. But then he won the fight, and that's what the best fighters in the world do. They win fights, find a way.
He's got that dog. That's it.
He's got that dog in him. 100%.
See, do you think he'll fight Fletcher again? It's 1-1 now, isn't it?
It's 1-1.
The amateur and
but I suppose that first one was Caine was 21, I think. Fletcher was 19, so what's that? It must have been about 7 years ago, nearly 8. Like that's I don't know. I'd have to see.
Here, like your amateur career means like nothing. Like the record in amateur means nothing until you make it to the pros.
3 threes in this size of a cage, like it's like if you watch half the amateur fights, half of them are hopping up against that cage. Like not that amateur MMA is not, like I learned so much from amateur MMA. I had 13 fights in amateur, and I would tell every amateur get every wee bit of experience out of it.
Yeah.
But when you go from this cage, I swear to God, that UFC cage is massive. It looks. Obviously, it's not. I think it's 6 foot bigger or 8 foot bigger or something. But
it's a lot.
It's like a massive difference. It literally looks 3 times the size when you're there. So, like, as far as the amateur fight between Caine and Nathan, I would literally say it doesn't really.
It doesn't count.
I wouldn't. It is 1-1, but like I think it's 1-0. At the end of the day, if you know what I mean.
If you love the thrill of winning big, then you need to check out Our Kings Competitions, the UK and Ireland's top spot for incredible praise competitions. They're giving you the chance to win luxury cars, dream holidays, top tech, and even life-changing cash prizes, all for a fraction of the cost. And what's the best part of this? Entering is super easy, so you just need to go on, select your competition, grab your tickets, and then you're in for a shot at winning big. With guaranteed winners in every draw and some of the most amazing prizes out there, Our Kings is the place to be if you want to turn a little into a lot. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to www.ourkingscompetitions.com now and grab your tickets, and you could be our next big winner. That's Our Kings Competitions, where dreams become reality, and enter today.
So, bro, if you can just take us back to the very start, what young Tiernan was like, and then where you're from.
Yeah. So I'm a Kildress man, in between Cookstown and Omagh. Lad, for me when I started, it was all Gaelic football. So I started Gaelic football at no age, like I don't know, 3 or 4 years old or whatever, and played the whole way up till I was 16. I was playing at quite a good level. I remember my last game, I done a bad injury to my leg. I broke my leg and tore my patella tendon, and it was a heavy injury, like. But then I remember going back, and I got my surgery and all, and in my head I was thinking, I'll go back to football, get the rehab done or whatever. But then I don't know, one night Caine came to me and he goes, I broke the leg about 8 months before this, I think. And Caine goes to me one night, he goes, why don't you come to MMA or MMA me the night? And I goes, I suppose I could, aye.
And what age were you at this stage?
I was 16, just about to turn 17. That actually, the date is weird. It was February 18th, 2017, maybe 2016. One of them two, and I went MMA, and then it was weird. I was massive into Gaelic football. Like,
yeah.
that was it for me. I didn't do anything else. Played every single day, twice a day, massive. And then it just flipped. I went MMA and I was like, right, that's that gone.
Do you think it was like an addiction at the like after your first few sessions?
Do you know what it was like? I was not like that I was this like good at Gaelic football. I was alright, but it was like I went to MMA and I lost, and I was the worst there by an absolute mile. I was like, well, I can't let that be the end of it.
100%.
I have to go back
100%.
and beat them bastards. So then I went back, and then just kept going back.
And did you have like boxing or anything they got there before? No combat sports at all?
I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. I hadn't threw a jab. I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was. Didn't know what wrestling. Probably didn't know what wrestling was either. I had absolutely no background. Just straight into it.
So you end up fighting your first amateur fight 2019. Is that correct?
It was 2019, wasn't it?
2019.
April 2019 versus Kuba Lulek.
And then knockout in 18 seconds.
18 seconds.
Oh, I've done the research. I've done the research.
That's good, wasn't it? Akuma.
No, I mean, you're getting a knockout in 18 seconds. See, when I saw all this, I was going, right, he must have like an amateur boxing career or something, because like your striking is really good.
Yeah.
I was going, fuck, so he must have been an amateur boxer, must have maybe fucking ulsters or anything like that there. And then find that out, smart.
Straight, what was I doing? About 14 months. And then had a fight. But you know what it was when I started, when I was in, I was all in.
Yeah.
I just got completely hooked on it. I really was on 2 days every day from that time.
Yeah.
It was pretty weird, but yeah.
Were you still in school at this stage and doing education? Or?
Was I still? No, I left school early, so I left school in 5th year. I was still in tech. I started a course in tech. I was still doing that.
What were you doing?
I was doing construction in the built environment.
Construction? Was that just bricklaying and stuff like that there?
It probably would be. I could barely even remember, to be honest. It was basically like what do you call it? Basically like a site manager. I would be at that class. That's not me. Like that was never going to be me. But if I was to tell somebody coming up, I would say like I don't think it's a bad thing to have.
Yeah.
Anyway, and
something to fall back on.
Exactly. And I wouldn't change anything. Like as far as starting MMA, I started pretty late, basically 17. Like I wouldn't change one thing about that. I love the Gaelic background I had and all that.
Some kids, like you're saying that there, some kids in here you see at the age of say 6 or 7. I remember I came in here, I think I mentioned it on Donner's one, came in here to do a 1-to-1 with Henry, and there was a kid in before and he was like 8. And man, you just saw him on the pads. And I was going, fuck me, if someone tried to go up to him, the playground, they're getting fucked up.
Oh, fucking right.
And here, that's classic.
But it's definitely, like I wouldn't say to them, people like, they're wrong, they're 100% right, but I wouldn't say, but if like somebody is 17 now, I wouldn't be afraid not to start. Like I wouldn't think you're too old.
Yeah.
Like you can still, there's still time, like if you know what I mean.
100%. Like, see, to take the career seriously, do you think there's like a cut-off age? Like to actually become pro? Because I saw a video, there was a fighter and he was like 35 and he fought like 14 times or something like that, or 12 times in the space of like 2 years. And like at 35, it's somewhere in America. I saw a video of him. Yeah. And I was like, fuck me, that's insane.
That's a lot of shots to the head.
Man, 100%. Like.
But hey, like at the end of the day, like, so when I worked a job before I started MMA. At that time, I still worked when I fought the likes of Ciaran McBlain. When I was a 4-fight amateur, I still did a job. And then I think I moved to Liverpool after that fight. So, and I still did a full-time job working in it was like construction company kind of thing. Like you can do it. Like I wouldn't say if you're working, don't do the sport. Like I need to be full-time. But it probably is better.
Is it just you and Caine? And like brothers?
Yeah. Well, we have a sister, we have Alicia as well.
A sister, is she in the fighting?
She would never miss. She's actually in Australia now, so it killed her. She was in Australia now for the first fight. That's the first time she's been in Australia, so I think that's the first time she's ever missed one of our fights. Maybe 1 or 2 tops. There's been a lot in the house, like, and a director. But she's fucking supporting us every time, like.
Would you get a good crowd? Like, because like watching over your fights at levels, you always hear there's always people there shouting like for you, and it's in Amsterdam. I was like, fuck yeah, it's like fair play. Like you always bring a crowd on with you.
Dev, I remember when I fought in the Devons a few times, them amateur fights. Fuck me, I must have sold about. I was probably making as much money for them as my early pro fights because the amount of tickets I was selling. I used to have about
Class.
50 lads. Them lads, they always come from me and Caine. But for the levels fight, it was a bit hard because Caine had the big UFC fights. And these were these lads' dreams, like to get to these big UFC fights. And to go to both.
Would be,
like,
100%.
Expensive, like, so you couldn't expect it, but
at least you can kind of sell with Amsterdam if there's any lads that like grass. You can just say, lad, just go for Amsterdam. If you smoke up, you'll be grand.
Amsterdam, see, as far as the day 2 goes, after the fight, fucking pints, good food.
It is, man. The food in Amsterdam is quality.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's one of the best places for food. Like, I think there's a few bad places that's for food, but see, Amsterdam is a city. Their food, have it down to a T.
I've been in a lot of major cities now, just with the fighting, moving about, and I would it is a clear number one. It's lethal. It's unreal.
See, when it comes to your amateur career and that first fight, say, what was the mentality going into it? Because again, like as you say, you're only 14 months into MMA, and was he more experienced than you, or was it both? Any nerves, pressures?
See, I would genuinely say this. My only problem ever going into a fight is that I haven't been nervous enough. I've never been in a backstage and been like shivering or, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I've never had that. But I've had fights where I'm like, I swear to God, I'm sitting backstage, I'm like, I don't know if I can be bored. Like what have I had now? So it's 13 fights. I've had 16 fights now, and I've maybe not a lot.
Yeah.
But I've been closer to that than being like, oh my God, I don't want to do this because I'm too nervous.
Yeah.
I've never had that. Maybe that's just, I don't know, that might just be me. If somebody has it, that's maybe not a bad thing either. Maybe it'll keep you sharp. But as far as nerve goes, not really.
Nah.
Never got me too bad.
That say you're not nervous for a fight and you've had a few amateur fights where you've lost. What's that like? What's the next day like? Are you straight back in the training, or are you out in the drink that night and just take a few days off, or what's that dog mentality saying to you at that stage?
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
Straight in the drink for 3 weeks. I swear to God, lads. Why I was actually saying this to Caine. We were talking about this. People were like, oh, it's so easy to get back in the gym after a loss, but it's tough after a win. Like a win, you have to push. I'm the complete opposite. See, when I lose that, I remember going back after I lost to Max Lally. Close fight, lost him in the amateurs, and I remember thinking, fuck this. I'm not going back to this shit. And then I remember Caine saying that for the Hadley fight. He went back and he's like, fuck this shit. That's just it's not worth it.
100%.
In a way. But like, once you get one day back in the gym, you get one sweat on, and you're straight back to it.
How do you handle like setbacks like that in terms of saying injury or a defeat?
Injuries not too bad. Like, you can always handle an injury. Defeat, I don't know. I still haven't nailed that one down. Like, I guarantee when I lose again, it'll be the end of the world. Yeah. Maybe I will think, fuck this, I'm not going back to this shit. But I don't know. The best way to handle a defeat, I don't know.
Would you rewatch the fight, see exactly where you went wrong?
A million times. Then you just have to pull the pins, like, right, that happened.
Yeah.
Brush it off.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Hey, it's meant to be, probably.
So you're fighting at the Fight Academy now, but you were over in Liverpool with your brother.
Yeah.
How did that there all come about, and what was life out there like?
The Liverpool, it came about. So Caine moved to Liverpool first. Obviously, he went out. One of the coaches over there got in touch with him. Just says, I think you'd be a great add to the gym.
Yeah.
Cowbone was flying at that time. You had the likes of Till, Mike Grundy, Tom Aspinall. They were flying. Then Caine went over. And then I was always going to go over. It's like, I'll go over eventually, but I just want to get a bit more experienced. And then I did. Went over there. I flew there on, say, the Monday. COVID hit 2 days later. I swear to God, lad, COVID hit on the Wednesday.
Some luck.
Oh my God. But then, you know what it was? Like, we were, I suppose you can say these things now, we locked ourselves, we were training away, like we were training like fuck. Never trained harder. It was, I swear to God, this is the God honest truth, lad, during COVID, we used to go every Tuesday, me and Caine trained every day, but every Tuesday and Thursday in particular, we used to meet Darren Till, and Till was a fucking animal. Like,
did he let up and train?
Did he let up with punches wise?
Like sparring pretty go light, or did he just fucking? He doesn't look like the type of person he would.
Not really, but I feel like he would hit you and he'd be like, you would think he is holding. He would think he is holding back, but it's still a rocket of a shot, like. But every Tuesday and Thursday we would meet Till, and we would do 10 threes. That's what we do. We'd spar 10 threes. And I think Monday and Wednesday, then we done our grappling. We done positional grappling, 10 threes.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, me and Caine, like, as far as, I'm not sure if anyone was training. I think everyone was in the same boat though. Everyone's kind of getting these wee sessions in. But like, the amount we got better was actually insane. Like,
So COVID kind of it benefited you as a fighter?
in a way, like, don't get me wrong, if it had just been the full team training, that probably it would have been better. But for what it was good training. Like,
See, personally, man, I actually like COVID.
I
was
liked
class.
it too, lad.
COVID was
I
class.
liked it too. Fucking,
It's fucking mad out time.
looking back on, like, people are gonna think we're fucking alcoholic, but we were training 5 days a week, and then you could relax at the weekends. You could eat a bit of shade. You could do what you wanted. No fights coming up, and I loved it.
Man, it was class. Like,
I actually loved it.
Like working like from home, so I had like everything set up in my bedroom, and then I was just same time answering calls for Vodafone and playing Call of Duty at the same time. Just sitting there, just going, yes, here, I need to put you on hold here to speak to a manager. Down, last person, search and destroy. Still fucking just going like fuck.
No stress,
man.
man.
No stress at all, man. It was class, and you were like unsackable as well. Like you used to just pull out your internet wire and just say, here, my internet's down.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Anyone
Like,
tells you to do things, you're fucking COVID.
COVID,
Not, I can't risk that.
flat out in the drink each night, fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah.
All the lads on a party just drinking away. It's fucking class.
Yeah.
See Darn as a person, what's he like? Because he seems a very larger than life character.
I got on so well with him. I actually got on so well with him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Like, oh, don't get me wrong, we weren't like best mates or anything like that, but he was so good. It's like I remember Caine had a really good performance, and I don't know if you want me to tell him this or not, but he had a really good performance on Almighty Fighting Champs one time.
Yeah.
And I remember Till came on like a prize money type of thing. He's like, best performance in the gym, and I was like, there you go, lads. Like, I promise you. Caine's like, what are you on about? And he goes, but he gave him the money.
Oh, yeah.
Good wee bit of money too. Like, and I remember he used to have these clothes sponsorship, whether he still has them there or not, I'm not sure, but he had clothes sponsorship, and he used to throw me and Caine clothes all the time. Like, we would never ask for anything, but if we did, he would have gave it to you. So like, as far as I always got on so well with him.
Is big Ali McLean's out of there as well?
Ali McLean was there too, right?
Yeah, we had him on. We had Ali on previously as well. He was our first MMA guest. I think he was our first fighter we had on.
Very good, very good.
Big Ali was on, like, mad man. See his stuff on Instagram's class.
He tell you some stories now.
100%. Like, he's
definitely would.
I want to get him back on. See, he was over for Clan Wars, wasn't he there? Clan Wars was last week.
I think he was. Is he? I thought he might have been here now.
He was over for Clan. Is he back
Clan
home?
Wars. I thought he was. I'm not sure. I don't know.
If he is, he's definitely a guest who I want to get back on again.
Fucking right,
Because like his social media just kind of blew up just because of all the videos he does and stuff like that there as well. And there's a good quote. I'm not going to say it on this here just because I'm cancelled, but it was an Ali McLean quote and it was a fucking belter one. I'll say it off this year.
Say it for another time.
So you're in Liverpool, your amateur career. What is the next step? Like what are you doing here? So post-COVID, we're out of COVID here. What's your next step?
It was just to get better and just keep getting experience. But like, the problem I had in Liverpool was, like, I just couldn't get fights. So I think I was in Liverpool for 3.5 years, and I think I had 3 fights.
Fuck, that's a long time.
It's a long time, and they were just like really spaced out and all. Never really just got like a flow going. Like, it just wasn't really going. So I was like, at the end I had to pull the pin. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, it's not really working. Then I came home to Fight Academy, fought. What have I had for Fight Academy now? I've had 8 fights in the space of 2 years. So like,
that's a lot. Like, especially in the last 12 months, you've fought what, 3 times since last April.
And I had the 5 fights. So as the amateur career ended, I had fought for 3 belts, defended 2. So yeah, that was.
How do you think your amateur career went?
I would say absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
Honestly, like, I'd obviously had. I think every amateur should push himself till that loss. And I did. I fought the best amateurs. Like, I fought anyone they gave me. I never turned down one fight. And I feel like that's the way it should be as an amateur. Like, if I got off the number 1 in the UK, this was the best thing ever happened. I was like, fucking right, I'll take that fight. And then that's what I done. And then I got a couple of belts. The plan always was 2 belts, defend them twice, and then get out of the road, move on, go pro. Dude.
So you had that plan to go pro already at this, because you're 24 now, like, and you have 3 like pro fights as it is, so like there's a lot more to come. But I don't want to go into your pro career just yet. There's a few things I want to touch on just with your amateur career. What do you think is your biggest lesson you've learned in your amateur career?
My biggest lesson was calmness in the cage. I swear to God, it took me a long time to get it. It took that run of fights, that 5 in the space of, it was actually like 10 months. I 5 fights faced 10 months. It was crazy. Like, but I remember going into fights and thinking like, oh my God, I just feel so flat.
Yeah.
Like I can't get going. What's wrong with me? I need to get myself going. But then now, I just learned like, you're always gonna feel different in these different environments.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'll still learn stuff. Like, I have 16 fights now. I still loads to learn. Like, but like now, if I'm feeling say flat in a way, in my head now, I'll just be like, no, I'm actually really, really calm, and I'm just gonna go in here and see everything. Or if I'm like so pumped up, then I'll just be like, right, I need to get back a bit, and I'm just gonna be sharp. Whereas I remember being in a couple of fights, like I went in a pretty bad run amateur stage. I lost 2 fights and drew 1 fight in between in the space of about 8 months, and that was a tough time. And I remember thinking like, in those 3 fights, I just lost it. I lost my way. I was like, COVID had a big break from fights, and then I just lost my understanding of fighting in the cage. My head just wasn't there in a way. And I remember thinking like, I have to be so up for these fights. I have to be full of energy. And when I wasn't, I kind of went into panic mode. Whereas now I'm just like, I know how to deal with every situation. Not that I don't, but I feel like I can handle it. Every situation a bit better in a way.
Do you think at that stage you lost your edge? Or do you think like there is a time you've ever lost your edge in fighting?
What do you mean?
So like lost your, say, dog mentality, or you've found it hard to motivate yourself going into a fight?
No, it wasn't that. Like, I feel like if I had a gut where, like, if it came down to the last round, it's like, who wants it more? I feel like I would have won those fights. Like, the fight I did lose, I probably won that part of it.
Yeah.
I just left too much to do in a way. No, I feel like you either have that or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes down to the last 3 minutes, who wants it more? I don't even think you can teach that. I think you either have that or you don't. I do just think it was that break at a bad time for me. At the end of the day, COVID hit when I was 19. Didn't fight again until I was a late 20, 21 nearly. Like, it's just a bad time.
It's a big gap.
You may as well go back to your amateur debut.
Yeah.
In a way, you kind of forgot everything that you learned. So I can't feel it.
See, when it comes to your like losses, like as you say, you need your losses in your amateur career to actually become a fighter and to have that mentality. Do you learn more from your losses or your wins?
I don't know, probably the losses, because I learned that calmness in the cage. But the wins are just so much, like, I feel like I improve more. But then I don't know, you can take benefits from both.
Yeah.
I think. Do you learn more from the wins, or I don't know?
Your brother says a good one there after his fight, that winning's a habit, but losing is also a habit.
Yeah.
And it's just getting through that there and powering through. See, for your amateur career, what's the highlight of it?
The Vladimir Stanka fight. I swear to God, lads. So I was fighting Stanka for my second belt. It was July. It was in the middle of the summer, and I sold a load of tickets for this fight in the Devonish. And I'm the main event. First time ever been in the main event. Shando was unbelievable for him to give me that opportunity. Like, and we're sitting backstage, and it hit like 10 o'clock. But luckily, at about 8 p.m, I looked at the card and I seen I'm a long way away. There's a lot of fights to go. I was like, I got a chance to nap. I know I could sleep. Went out to the yard, took a nap. Then I came back in and I started getting more, started shadowboxing away, and then hit 10 p.m. I was like, fuck, there's a lot of fights to go here. I was like, I'm not going to be on for a while. And that was alright. I was like, right, fuck it, deal with it. Then next thing, it's like 12 o'clock. And Shandon and Pat actually came into the changing room, but nothing happened. But they came in and I was like, do you think this fight's going to get pulled? Do you think it's actually getting too late? And then I was sitting backstage, but then they walked out. I didn't ask them. They walked out. I was like, must still be going. So the fights are going on. Lad, it hits 20-1.
That's fucking mental.
Mental. It's 20-1 in the morning. And Joe McCullough said that in commentary. So it's 20-1 in the morning and I'm walking to the cage. But lad, I never felt better. I was full of beans.
Everyone's steaming too as well.
Aye.
At that stage.
Oh, my mates were blind. So we met them in the way and they were drinking pints outside. I was like, I've got a long way to go, boys. But hey, fuck it. But
It's fucking class.
oh, it was class. It was a unbelievable experience, and then end up getting a submission. First time I'm getting a rear naked choke in the cage, which was an unbelievable feeling.
Do you have any like rituals or anything that you always do before a fight, or what's your fight day consist of?
So I'll do my morning shakeout, which is really, really light. It's just to like kind of loosen me out. Then I'll go for a bit of a feed. I'll always get a nap. But as far as rituals, like I'm not, like I don't know. I would never be too set on them because like, what if I don't get that nap? What if something happens? Like you have to do this, you have to do that.
Yeah,
these things don't happen. Like I just can't go. I just can't go with it now. Like
What's your feed? What are you going for?
Whatever's going, lad. I remember going to that night was in the Devonish, and I actually had a peanut butter and banana smoothie thing. Nothing too heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wouldn't be anything. Maybe like a wrap or something. It wouldn't be nothing too mad. Like
What's your post-fight meal? That's probably the main question. Like, what are you feasting on?
I do love a chicken fillet burger, lad.
Chicken fillet burger.
Yeah, Greenville Hotel chicken fillet burger. We with mayonnaise, maybe lettuce. Oh.
And it's all down. See, mayo and garlic. If it's food's nice, but there's no good mayo or garlic, it can completely ruin a meal.
It can ruin it. It's all about their sauce, man. 100%. But I've tried to. That's Amsterdam though.
Amsterdam. Food's
anything going,
man. It never misses.
Yeah,
Amsterdam.
It literally does not miss.
Me and my missus went to Paris there in December. I'm not joking. I thought the food, because we watched fucking like Ratatouille. So the guy in Ratatouille says the food in Paris is great, of course. Man, it was fucking terrible. I've never had food like this in my life. Man, French.
We were in Paris for Caine's fight in Thing. But you know what it is? We done that much traveling around that time. Like we were Amsterdam, Paris, and Italy. It's like, not that you can't remember. It's an unbelievable city, but. There was a lot going on at that time, but it's class, Paris, like.
So, bro, we'll just kick in here to your pro career, 3-0 at the minute.
Yep.
How did it all like come about, your transition from amateur to pro?
So I remember saying to Pat, like, I would never ask Pat or Liam, like, can I go pro? It was always going to be down to them. But I remember after my last amateur was against Mark Soup, and it was quite comfortable. Like the win, that sounds arrogant, but the win, we won on decision. Kind of control the fight, won the fight. I was like, oh, I wonder who's next, Pat. In a way, but in my head, I was thinking like, I want to go pro. Like, there's nothing really else here for me. And Pat said, no, pro next. We're going to send you pro. And then it came about, and I was supposed to make my pro debut on Cage Conflict. But then we were supposed to fight this Italian, and was supposed to fight him, and he was getting the plane over. But then he says he got pulled at customs on the plane, and I was like,
fuck's sake.
But lad, this was always my fear. My fear was always regional shows and like pulling these guys in. I was like, I want to be contracted somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember how Caine had it as an early pro, and it was an absolute nightmare. And I just never wanted that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I said to Pat and Liam, I was like, I'd love to sign with someone. And then we ended up signing with Levels. They said they were going to build me as an early pro, and that's
how
what
does
they
that
did.
come about? How do they like contact you, or do you contact them and see if there's?
I actually can't remember how the Levels one came about. I actually think they texted Caine, because Caine obviously fought there once, and they texted, how would your brother be interested in fighting for us? And then he texted me and said this, and then I texted Pat and Liam, and then it kind of just went from there.
What's the contract like in terms of fights? Do you have? Is it like a 4 fights, 5 fights?
It's a 5-fight deal. Yeah, it's a 5-fight deal. I'm actually not too sure what's happened. I was supposed to fight in there on April 13th, but that's fell through.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be fighting. I was ready to go nearly, but just couldn't get the right fight or something. Couldn't get a fight. So we'll just have to see what happens.
And do they fly you out and all that there? Do they pay for the flights?
They do, but we never take the flight back. So they get you in on the Friday morning, which is fine, or the Thursday morning, Thursday night, whatever it is. And they have you flying back on the Monday morning first thing, but we never take it.
Yeah.
You need to enjoy you need to get your day
100%.
to Amsterdam, enjoy the city, relax, fucking.
And do they fly your corner and stuff out?
They fly one cornerman, I think it was, and then me obviously, and then we take care of the other one then.
And you've had like a Paul on your corner as well, and on your first fight. And what's that like? See, just being surrounded, because up at Fight Academy, you're surrounded by so many elite fighters.
Yeah.
What's that like, being able to roll with them each day and just? like go through the paces?
Unbelievable. Like we're doing Shando striking class this morning, and Paul's obviously on the mat, and I think even in like the middle of the class, Paul's like just showing him and Shando saying what they've been working, and then Paul saying a technique that he likes to do.
Yeah.
Like just having that world class guy on the mat teaching these wee things is priceless. As a corner man, it was deadly. I swear to God, him and Caine in the corner was a class experience now.
I'd say going out after that there on the Guinness, I'd say like you three would be dangerous.
Well, they went a bit early, so they ended up going the night before the fight. Them two bastards. I was actually in the bar with them, obviously not drinking, but I like that. The night before the fight, I like just relaxing and let everyone work away. It takes your mind away from it a bit. Like you can just relax. And Hughes and Caine were maybe getting a bit too comfortable. Next thing I said, I'll hit the road here. Used to fucking use work away though. At 3 a.m. Caine lands back in the room.
See, for your pro career, just fighting out in Amsterdam, it's a completely different environment than what you're used to.
Yeah.
Fighting over in Ireland and then over in the UK as well. See, just with your transitioning from amateur to pro, was there any mental challenges or any pressures because of who your brother is, for example?
No, not in that way. Like you're your own man in a way, aren't you? Like I never felt like, oh, Caine's done this, I need to do this, and I still don't feel that way. As I said before that, I don't really feel, nerves don't really get to me that way. I think I have that bit nailed as far as nerves and dealing with pressure. So no, I would never feel like, oh, Caine's got to the UFC, I have to get there. It's only a bonus that he's got to the UFC. It would never be a negative. Like.
What is in store? What's the plan for the next 5 years for you?
Keep working away at being the best featherweight in the world. Sit down one day, lad, and say, I'm the best featherweight. I was the best featherweight in the world last night with a fucking UFC world title, and have nobody to take that away from me. So that's my goal. Just keep getting better and keep getting these unbelievable experiences.
Unreal. Do you think, or just like question off topic with this, do you ever think if Paul dropped down weight, the Paddy like Pimlet's weight or Paddy up weight, do you think
they're the same weight now?
Are they on the same weight now?
So they're both lightweight, yeah.
So who do you think would win out of the Paul and Paddy?
Like, I don't think
it'd be a battle like.
Oh jeez, I don't even think that would be a question. I think he would beat the fuck out of him. Like, I think Paul would literally play with. Oh, he would absolutely bath him. He would bath him, right?
As we discussed here before, just like that entire incident with your brother and Paddy, and then you heard him say about Paul in the background as well. No, like he was saying about fucking Paul, he's saying for PFL because he's not good enough for UFC, which is not the case.
It's just ridiculous, like. But he's an idiot. Like he came up to me the other day. He came up after the fight and he shook. Like I have no sympathy for him. I don't like the guy. I don't like any of them. And he came up after the fight and he shook Caine's hand. He goes, "Fair play, lad. I had that 2-1 for Nathan." And I just goes to him. I goes, "What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have a clue. It was clearly 2-1 Caine." And he just sat there. And then he walked away. I was like, I literally have. I don't like the guy.
Do you think he plays up for the cameras?
1,000,000%. He's he's a fake person. He's fake. That's exactly what Caine said to him. He doesn't really like get too involved in what he's saying because he's just a fake person. Like.
See, with your brother and like going back to the institute, is there anybody that you were like the way you've trained with Darren Till, with Strickland? Is there anybody you've been in awe of? You've went, holy good fuck, this is... As
in how good he is, or...?
No, just being in their presence.
You know what, is when you see all those top guys, like I remember going, it was a mad story. Caine was downstairs getting medicals done for the UFC. Not medicals, but he was getting maybe like a bit of recovery or something like that. And I was just, as a riff, I'll just have a walk. And I had my training gear in my bag and I was walking about, and Cody Garbrandt is doing a session upstairs, but he trains in the PI, but I didn't know this.
Yeah.
He's sparring. And I went up and goes, I had the training gear in the bag, goes, what sort of man would I be? What sort of fighter would I be if I didn't ask Cody Garbrandt for a round? Wasn't even warmed up or nothing. And then he was sitting there, I goes, oh Cody, would you mind if I jumped in for a round? But you know what the problem was? The problem was, I think him and Caine talked a bit of shit in the past, two bantamweights.
Yeah.
But I think I was only joking. But then at the start, he was winging in the shots, and I goes to him, I goes, you know I'm not Caine. He goes, what? He goes, you know I'm not Caine. He goes, oh yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know if you do know, but I remember seeing got sparring Garbrandt, and that was one of the things. He was nearly in front of me, and I was like, fucking hell, it's Cody Garbrandt, like
Class.
unbelievable.
See, growing up, obviously your brother's been a big influence on your career, and everyone will compare your styles together. Have you, I'm trying to think of a good way to put it, have you looked at a fighter and based your style off anybody, or is there anybody you've, like multiple fighters, you've picked a wee bit from there and a wee bit from there for your own individual style?
Yeah. So when I first came to Fight Academy, I had one style. I was a pressure fighter who tried to grind you against the cage, and that was kind of it. I didn't know how to move in the back foot. I didn't know that part of the game, but I feel like I'm starting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the finished article. I'm not even remotely close.
Yeah.
But I am starting to mix that all together, because I feel like I remember Dan Hooker said one time, if you think you're going to be a UFC world champion, although maybe not even a world champion, you're going to be an elite fighter, just being a pressure counter boxer, he's like, that's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's completely right. Like, you're always going to find that guy who's going to have the answer to that, and then you'll have to adapt. So that's kind of what I am doing at the minute. I'm trying to get all the styles, like, even if it's going to different sports. Like, if I look at the best, like say, look, Gordon Ryan, take a wee bit of his grappling, like, oh, he does that. And then you go and watch, like, I don't know, the likes of Haggerty in Muay Thai and be like, oh, he does that.
Yeah.
And then mixing all these wee things together and hopefully get the
What other combat sports do you enjoy outside like MMA to watch, just to sit and watch?
All of them. Literally all of them. I love watching one championship. If there's a big boxing fight night, I would never miss it. And then I suppose not combat sports, but I love Gaelic football too.
Gaelic,
but it's not combat sports.
See, if you were to fight in another sport and be comfortable or confident, is there a sport out there that you think you could like give a go?
At a high level, I would get my ass handed to me in all of them. I'd say if I went in like the likes of them boys fighting the Devonish of that Muay Thai, like fuck, them boys would beat that, man. It's a different game.
They beat the head of each other, like they're just
do.
fucking.
It's a tough sport, hey?
Yeah,
Tough
100%.
sport.
Like.
But it's like, it's a different game. It's just a complete. Probably if it was to put one, I don't know, maybe boxing.
Boxing.
Maybe like mid-level jiu-jitsu, I don't know.
I was watching a video and I forget who it was. It says, it might have been Tyson Fury. It says if a boxer goes into an MMA world, they're fucked. They're just completely, they're fucked just because, and like an MMA fighter will bring them to the ground and just fucking and grind it out. Do you think there's any like boxers would be successful in?
No, like I don't know if they pulled it back. If they didn't go to the UFC first and they came back and maybe started as an amateur or basically done what I done as a pro and took a year, I suppose you never know. But any boxer who goes straight into the UFC, 1,000,000% gonna lose.
Ngannou, like transitioning to boxing, I think is fucking class because he held a good account of himself in the Fury fight.
He did, and he done the right thing. Like financially, it was absolutely the right thing to do. Like, he done as good as you could have done. Like,
100%.
Class.
There's a few questions just here on mentality. As I'll ask you before we actually get to the questions which were sent in. So, have you ever struggled with self-doubt at all in your career?
Definitely, like 100%. As I said that time, I went on basically a 3-fight skid. One was a draw in between. That was the toughest time ever. Like I was 22 at the time. Like I was thinking, like, obviously the doubts being like, am I gonna be good enough? Is there any point doing this? Like I remember driving up the M1 after one of them losses, and I was like, literally had to pull the car over. I was in a bad way. I was like, I can't shake this. The losses are so tough, but like it eventually it goes. It fucking passes eventually, like so. And
a follow-on question for it: how do you stay disciplined and motivated during a tough time like that?
During that, it's tough, but like, I don't know, since I've been 18 years old, I've been training twice a day every day. Like I'm nearly just set on it now. Like if I don't train twice a day, I'm nearly, in my own head, I'm like, what else would I be doing all day? It's nearly just like that's what I do. It's my job.
Yeah, it's your job.
It's my job in a way, and if I don't do it, I don't feel myself. I remember Gregor saying, like, if I don't train, I'm not myself. And I feel the same. As if I don't train, it's like just that.
Do you get compared to your brother a lot by others?
Not so much compared, just asked. Like I remember, it was mad the other day. I suppose this actually nothing to do with the question, but we were actually walking up London the other day, the night before Caine's fight, and a guy comes up and he goes, hey, how you doing? I goes, well. Caine standing right beside me, he goes, how's the fight gonna go tomorrow? And I goes, what do you mean? I goes, like, do you mean the main event? He goes, no, you're fit. I goes, he's standing right there, absolute clown. I goes, we couldn't be. So we're actually getting like compared to each other looks wise a lot. Like a lot of people are mixing us up. But as far as
I think like see your like body shape and time of your build, they're very similar.
Like, no neck or too much of a neck.
And he's ripped up. Like see for like he's stocky and he's ripped in the bollocks.
He was in serious physical shape for that last fight. I actually said that when he was warming up. I was like, it's the best physically I've ever seen him. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, as far as being compared to him, not too bad now.
Not too much.
Not too much.
Who's the biggest influence in your career? Bar your brother. If he was influence, but who's the biggest influence?
As far as somebody
who's guided you, who's say managed you, been in your corner.
Pat and Shando. Pat and Shando changed my career. I swear, I came when the difference between my first fight in Fight Academy till like not even my last fight, my first amateur fight in Fight Academy to my last amateur fight, my difference in the cage on fight night, technically my skill set difference was like what would that have been? That would have been 9 months apart. Was honestly like
night and day.
Game changer. It was massive. So definitely is bringing the career.
What do they do that others haven't? Say.
Just like I don't know, knew where you were. The attention to detail they go to on their techniques is absolutely, as far as like actual coaching, is unreal. But just the time they put into you.
Yeah.
Like you ask the two of them for anything, they'll do it. Shando puts in between holding pads, between his classes, countless hours, and the exact same to Pat. So just that, the amount of time they have for you.
There's a lad that I work with. He trains a bit of one-on-ones with Owen up there, and he says there's a thing called Shando's Run in one of the classes.
I've heard of this.
Says it's tight, it's hill sprints and stuff, and sprinting up steps and all that there. And he was telling me one day, and I was like, that sounds fucking shit.
I've never done it.
You should get into it.
I should get into it
and see how you do.
I think they do Tuesday mornings, isn't it?
Tuesday mornings, is it? Fuck yeah.
Busy.
It's
busy, man.
Stuff on.
Yeah, stuff on.
So a few of the questions sent in. So first one is, how much for a bag of teased turf? Serious question.
A bag of teased turf
from your brother.
What date are we in? What date of the year? Say we hit midsummer. £4 minimum, lad.
£4 minimum. What about winter?
Charging you for delivery. Winter, I'm kind of cutting my prices because it's starting to. I'm like, oh, that shed's getting. I've still got a right few there. I need to get rid of them. And I'm starting to get a bit skint, so the prices are starting to drop. But that's a great question. Four quid for anyone that needs turf.
What about for your brother? £5 quid?
4 quid. £4.50 and a coffee.
£4.50. So the best one I think as well is, how many toddlers can you realistically take on and win?
Countless.
So from 0 to 3.
I would never hit a toddler, but if it came down,
hypothetically,
if it came down to it, countless. I'll go all day.
Do you think it would be? So the way I said it before was kind of, you're gonna be hitting a toddler for about 24 hours. Toddlers there's millions of toddlers just coming at you.
I won't
24 hours, you'll not fatigue.
I won't fatigue.
So for 24 hours, you're just sitting swinging at toddlers. 100%.
I'll be there all day.
Actually, I would
never do that.
I need to take my phone out for the other ones because there's a few got sent in which I didn't get the opportunity to actually write down. Someone actually wrote in about training gear as well. So let's see, where is it? Yes, so the Boogeyman MMA read in, how much training gear or clothes have you lost by leaving it behind? Answer in pounds, value.
In pounds, I'm gonna say a full wardrobe. If that's talking pounds, you're talking 200 quid.
200 quid?
Yeah. Hey, it happens the best. So sometimes you forget some training gear.
Do you have? I'd say you have a thing with leaving training gear behind, do you?
I'm pretty bad for it now. I actually went into the bin the other day and people were like, why are you stealing them clothes? I was like, no, they're genuinely all mine.
Am I allowed to ask that question?
What is it?
It's
why do they call it the humper? Yeah.
Yeah. So why do they call you the Humper?
They call maybe I should have said no. So Tom, that's Tom, one of our good mates. He never miss a fight. Or we were out after Caine's fight the last time, the second day, and it was just me, Caine, and your man. It was unreal. But after one of my fights, after my best fight ever, or one of the most enjoyable fights in Liverpool, we went out after I got the head kick knockout. We went out. And I found myself on top of the bar, found the Guinness tap, you know, and then the Humper name came after that. Aye.
Yeah, that's not bad. I was expecting something.
You expect some more?
Something.
I would say everyone expects some
the Humper.
Great question.
So
thank you.
Bourbon or Ben Bird Construction.
That's our main sponsor.
Your main sponsor.
Yep.
What's your favourite meal in a restaurant? Surf and turf or chicken?
What's my favourite meal?
Yeah.
Oh, surf and turf.
Surf and turf?
Surf and turf, but it's out of my price range.
Well, if your sponsor actually forks up more money, you know,
that's next. A few more. He got me one. We were in Atlantic City, and I cheated my first ever surf and turf, and Jesus, that
lethal,
unbelievable,
unreal,
unbelievable.
And then last question is, what's the drive to get to the top after seeing and making the walk at UFC London?
More motivated than ever. That I swear to God, like. Obviously, I'm not going to bring, but I'm training with these guys. I'm 24 years old now. I'm training with guys at Elite. I see what they're doing. I come home. I'm training with our guys in Fight Academy, and I know I can get there. I know the path there if I want to take it.
Yeah.
And just seeing that walk the other night, like that's what you've dreamed of from you're a child. So I'm more motivated than ever, and I've no doubt I'm going to get there.
I love what your brother said in the interview after. Like he says, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go, lad. When you like talking about nerve stuff before the fight, I don't get that because I fucking love this.
Unreal.
I love fight night, so why would I be nervous? I'm doing what I love.
Does he get nervous? Well, probably in the fight, last fight, there could have been.
Not. I don't think so. But me personally, I don't, because I think to myself, well, I put myself here.
Yeah.
Nobody forced me to be here. I could be at home right now. I could have stayed at home. But I wouldn't want to be. I'd want to be right here in the fucking arena. So, what else?
Do you think there could be a day that you and your brother will be on the same card?
I don't think I would want that. In a way, I find his fights quite tough. I actually didn't find the last one too bad, nerves-wise. But I don't think... It would obviously be an unbelievable...
Yeah.
We've done it before.
Have you?
We've done it before, that night in Liverpool.
That night in Liverpool?
The Humper,
The Humper.
that night we came alive. But... I don't think I'd want to do it again, lad, no.
Do you get more nervous? I know you said like you don't feel pressure and stuff like that. Do you get more nervous watching him fight or you actually fighting?
1,000,000%, definitely. You know, the last night wasn't too bad. I feel like it was better when I was in the corner, when you could actually, in a way, you're making that walk with them. Not to sound like too cheesy in a way, but like it's easier when you've seen them all day. But when I'm not backstage or I'm not in the corner, I obviously don't see Caine all day, and it's like you don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
Mentally or physically, and I knew how good he was mentally and physically before that last one, so that kind of took a bit of the nerves off in a way. But yeah, I would definitely get more nerves for his fights, definitely.
Well, bro, thank you very much for coming on.
That was legal.
Another great episode.
Yes, thank you for having me, boys. Unreal.